Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling, and why am I so loud? Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. I think the levels are better there. How do I sound, guys? Because at first it was too loud. Let me bump it up just a tiny bit. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good now. That was weird. I bumped my mixer, and it shifted all the knobs on it. Also, checking my head, 12 o'clock here. Because of you again. Well, sorry, I have other things I have to take care of. I was doing literally two things at once tonight, watching Raw, and working on another project that had to get done before midnight tonight. So, and why is that not working? There we go. So, yeah. I was multitasking a lot tonight, so sorry we're a little late. It happens. But with all of that, good Monday Night Raw, go-home show for Backlash. New match announced for Backlash. Dominic will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Penta. That's a tough one to predict. I could see Penta winning, but at the same time, I don't think Penta wins. Like, my prediction is Dominic retains. Most likely he gets help from Judgment Day or maybe even Chad Gable. But I wouldn't be shocked if Penta won. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be shocked if they put the title on Penta. So, we'll see how that all does go. I don't expect any more matches to get announced for the pay-per-view. We have 5 now. I don't think they do like a Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn and Jay. I don't see that. How am I having issues? You're having issues. I'm not having any issues. What issues? What issues? Stream looks good. Video looks fine. Everything looks good on my end. Anyways, so I don't think they add like a Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso tag match. I don't think they add Tiffany defending her title, even though we have the number 1 contenders match on Friday, which, I'll tell you guys right now, Jade's beating Tiffany for that belt. You don't believe me? Look at the preview for that Netflix behind-the-scenes show. Because if Jade would have never got hurt at the end of 2024, Jade was supposed to go into Mania this week. Your mic's not working. My mic's working fine. You guys not hear me? Hold on. Mic's working fine. Nope. My mic's working fine. Anyways, I just literally listened to myself. Anyways, if Jade would have never got hurt at the end of 2024, she was literally supposed to be the WWE Women's Champion going into this year's WrestleMania. That was the plan. So, yeah. I think Jade is beating Tiffany for that belt. Jade's going to beat Nia, number 1 contenders match. And then she's going to beat Tiffany for the belt. So, yeah, that's what I think that's going. But I don't think it's going to happen at Backlash. We already have 5 matches announced for Backlash. Pull up the Backlash card here. Backlash 25. The card for Backlash is we got Randy Orton, John Cena, Becky Lyra, Pat Gunther, the 4-way for the U.S. title, and then Dom and Penta. I don't see Triple H doing 6. Maybe. And if it's a maybe, then it's Jade and Tiffany. But yeah, I could be wrong. And they go off the norm. But the norm for Triple H on a regular show, a regular PLE, is 5. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if we are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know we post to the community tab. Again, we're trying to post more news on our website, pwunlimited.co. And you will see the links to that on the community tab. So that's a great way where you can subscribe and then get notifications. I don't know if you get no, you don't. No, you don't get notifications for the community tab. But I'm trying to figure out a way to do push notifications whenever I post something new on the website. I'm looking into that. But when we post a new news story on the website, you can get like a push notification to your phone or something. So I'm trying to work on that as well. I think if there's a way I could do it through like your Chrome browser. So I'm going to figure that out. And also, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by becoming a channel member just by hitting that join button. Either at the $1 tier where you get emotes, emojis, and a cool badge, or at the $5 tier where you get access to all of our graphics packages. I will be doing a Q&A this week and more. Remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Also, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting into that new Fortnite season, Galactic Battle, all Star Wars all the time, every time. Played some last night on stream. Very fun. Really, really digging this new season and the new weapons. Got the lightsabers and all that. So if you are getting into the new Battle Pass, use our code, PWU NLIMITED, whether that's on your computer, your Switch, your PlayStation, your Xbox, your phone, your tablet, or anywhere else that you can play Fortnite. Remember, they have the regular Battle Pass, and they also have the Lego Pass with all Star Wars stuff as well. Oh, yeah, here we go. They also have a bunch of Star Wars games on sale right now through the Epic Game Store. They have the Deluxe Edition of Jedi Survivor for $26.99. Fantastic game. Star Wars Outlaws, only $34.99. Triple pack, you get Squadrons, Fallen Order, and Battlefront 2 for $20. That's a hell of a deal. Or you can get Battlefront 2, the Celebration Edition, for $7.99. But with all of that, we got Monday Night Raw to talk about, as we got a recap of everything that closed out last week's show. Following the recap, the Io Sky, Roxan Perez, Alpha Academy, Rusev, and Gunther all arriving at the building. Jey Uso then kicks off the festivities. Jey Uso comes out through the crowd. Pat McAfee got on the table and yeeted. Michael Cole said, hey, you may well calm down. That's what pissed off Gunther in the first place. You not being serious and taking sides. And Pat's like, I'm going to yeet my ass off forever, Cole. Cole's like, all right, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. Yeet, 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 yeet. Cole spoke about Jey, who told him that he's busier than ever. And he's loving every moment of it. After Jey hit the ring, the crowd wanted an encore. So, as is the new pattern, Jey's music hit again. He got up on the apron and yeet, 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 did the yeet. Jey then told, or was I? So Jey finally stopped the yeet and calls out Logan Paul, but Logan doesn't come out. Instead, it's Paul Heyman. Heyman said that he wasn't here to disrespect Jey, but he dragged himself to Omaha because he had something to say to the world champion. Jey told him he had a lot of balls to come out here after doing what he did to his family. Jey said that he warned Roman Reigns and CM Punk about Paul. Heyman said that nobody should have warned him about. He said nobody should have warned him about Punk. Nobody lived through what Heyman has to live through. The crowd chanted for Punk. Heyman said that Punk put him in an impossible position and guaranteed a sabotage to the relationship of Roman Reigns. Crowd chanted OTC. Heyman knew Punk way better than Reigns was still playing. Heyman knew Punk way back when Reigns was still playing football. But Reigns should have known that he wouldn't tell Punk any of the secrets. Heyman stood by Reigns' side for many, many years, even after he got beat by Cody Rhodes, after getting distracted by Seth Rollins. Reigns disappeared to lick his wounds and left Paul to fend for himself. Reigns only returned to get his Ulafala, not revenge for what was done to his wise man. All Heyman wanted was help from a friend. Main event of WrestleMania. Heyman wanted went on a crazy rant and lost his shit. Like he was going bananas. And the crowd starts calling Heyman an asshole. And Jay just goes, "Are you okay?" And the crowd laughed. Jay wanted to know, what the hell's going on. Heyman then said, "I'm not out here to disrespect you or anything, but I am out here for you. Not because of family or the Ulafala or Roman Reigns. Because of what's around your waist." Heyman said Jay won the title, and the title was all about power and control. Jay didn't know how to yield that power or control. The title wasn't about putting on his best performance every single night. No. While Jay might be the champion, Rollins had to be champion. Rollins had to have the power and had to have the control. Braun Breaker was stage 1 of their plan, and stage 2 was Seth winning the belt. Heyman wanted to allow Jay to sign his own death warrant, so said, "Seth Rollins would like to officially challenge you to a title match for the World Heavyweight title." And Seth, who was deservingly the number 1 contender after winning the main event of Night 1 at WrestleMania, will allow you to choose when he beats you, anywhere, anytime. Jay fired up and said, "You know what? Let's do this match here tonight." And the crowd lost their minds. Yes, they want to see this match tonight. So that does set up the main event we got tonight. Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, which I wouldn't say was bad, but I was a little disappointed. Like, I'm not saying I wanted Jay to lose and Seth to get the belt. I think that's the end game here eventually. But the way it ended, the Punk stuff and the Sammy stuff, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. I see where it's going. I see what it's leading to. And yes, I have seen the Logan Paul stuff. We just haven't got there, so I haven't talked about it yet. I was going to talk about that at the end because it happened after Raw. I have seen that Logan Paul attack Jey Uso after the show and off the air. We do have a bit donation here from Esports Gaming Rules. He says, Los Garza is announced for Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide Triple Mania Reina 2025. And I saw the story of WWE's AAA signing, and WWE fans are freaking out about Del Rio coming back to WWE via AAA. So let's talk about this for a minute. I'm not going to go in depth on it. We already did a video about this. I have another video I'm working on with more information about the AAA signings today. First things first. WWE did not release 17 people on Friday to sign AAA talent. That is not a thing. I've seen people try to say that on social media. That's not a thing. So don't even think that. Don't even think Dakota Kai lost her job so they could sign Del Rio. No. This is a whole separate division of WWE and TKO that AAA is running under. But what is happening is WWE has people that are already working in AAA, signed to AAA, they would like to keep in AAA. They would like to keep working there. But they want to under their terms and conditions. They want to do it under their rules. And so to do that, they got to sign them to new contracts with their provisions, their rules, and all of that. Which one is, get your English straight. There is a report, and I can read it here. Let me find it really fast. There is a report that WWE has been like, hey, work on your English. Let me pull this up really fast. Give me one moment to find it. Also, congratulations to Big E and Mia Yim's sister. They're engaged to be married. Here we go. So, there was a report from record.co.mx that says the talent within AAA have officially been warned that working under WWE's banner comes with some, stringence and some new rules. As part of early stages of WWE's acquisition, company personnel were spotted at AAA's Star Caravan show last Saturday at Juan de la Buera Olympic Gym in Mexico City. The visit wasn't just for show. WWE reps were there to evaluate talent live and take notes. Behind the scenes, things were far more serious. AAA wrestlers were summoned to the promotion's office in Coyoacán. I butchered that, sorry. where they were reportedly, quote, read the riot act. Wrestlers were told point blank that the merger with WWE doesn't mean they'll be sticking around. They'll all be sticking around. They're not signing everybody. According to the report, quote, only those who are physically and wrestlingly fit, those with work visas to travel to the United States, and those who can speak English will continue working for the promotion. As a result, many are now scrambling to improve their English skills. That's one thing WWE is saying. Hey, we want you, but there's some guidelines you need to follow. Because, well, if you can't come work in America, we don't need you signed to a contract. We're not going to pay you a normal contract. Also, the contracts, they're not making any more money than they were already in AAA. Like just because they're now under WWE, WWE is not paying those talent more than they were getting paid under just AAA. No pay increases with the acquisition. So we'll see what that all leads to. But there's a list of names. One's Del Rio, Vikingo, Waka Wagner Jr., La Flamer, Lady Flamer, and a bunch of others that apparently already signed since last Saturday. But that's what all that is. It is WWE, and WWE doesn't even own AAA yet, so that's the crazy thing. Like, the acquisition will happen, but it's not going to go into effect until Q3. And so WWE is just getting ahead of the game. And they're signing people now, so that way when everything is ready for them to fully take over, then boom, they already know who they have, who they don't have, who's full-time, who's not full-time, and go from there. There's also a rumor that they may want to poach some people from CMLL, if possible. But getting back to Raw, we go backstage, and Heyman approached Rollins and Breaker in the back. Heyman said Jay fell for it. Rollins said, yeah, I told you so. After Rollins left, Heyman asked Breaker if he understood the significance of tonight. To which he responded, I think so, and Heyman explained it to him. Heyman put over how dangerous Jay was when he was prepared. But tonight, we don't let him prepare. We don't let him train. We don't let him get a game plan. He made Gunther tap out, and now he's focused on Logan Paul. Rollins was a sniper who had Jay in his sights. Jay would be in their kingdom when the referee handed over the belt to Seth Rollins. Then they would have all the power. We then learned right after this the match is official in the main event tonight, and it's the first time in 7 months that the men's world title is defended on Raw. Also, give me a second. I'm going to turn this fan on. It's getting a little warm in here. This then leads us to our first match of the night. Penta versus JD McDonough. JD McDonough is really good. Him and Penta worked very well together, too. So, not much happened before they went to a commercial break. McDonough gave Penta a Death Valley driver on the apron. Penta fought back after the break and hit a sling blade for a 2. Backbreaker for a 2 as well. Balor distracted the referee while Carlito tried to run some interference, but Penta shoved him off and sent McDonough to the outside before wiping them both out with a crossbody. Balor then attacked Penta himself, and Pat McAfee and Michael Cole really put over, when you face one member of Judgment Day, you're really facing multiple members of Judgment Day at all times. So Balor tried to apologize, but the referee kicked him and Carlito out. As the referee was busy dealing with them, Chad Gable would interfere next. But Penta still wiped him out with a flip dive. McDonough used the distraction to hit a jawbreaker, but Penta avoided a moonsault, hit the Canadian, or as they call Mexican Destroyer, and pinned JD McDonough to pick up the victory. So Penta does get the victory here, which later leads to Penta getting a title shot. How do I feel hot when my fan is off? The room is getting warm, so I need to turn the fan on to cool the room off. That's what it is, Kid Vicious. Oh, no, I can explain that any different, or how you would get confused by that. If your room starts to get warm, you turn the fan on, the fan circulates air and cools it off. Oh, I didn't know we were going to get a science lesson today. So like this last week, Grayson Waller was excited to announce that he was requesting a singles match. Yet, however, he found out who his opponent was and didn't want to do it. Austin Theory showed up, and Waller acted like, he never wanted the match in the first place. Waller then told Pierce that Theory should have a match instead. And Theory was like, sure, yeah, okay. And, well, he went out there unknowing who his opponent was going to be. Esports Gaming World says Penta got an updated theme. They now used the, what's his name? It's from Tool. Oh, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. It is, bug. Now this is going to bug me. Oh, now it's going to bug me that I can't think of his name. I know this. It's like Adam something, I want to say. Oh, snap. Wait, I don't think this is real. Or is it? Hold on. We may not have a new match announced for the pay-per-view. I might be wrong. They might be doing 6 matches after all. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let's go look this up. Okay. So I see people posting. Can't be right. Hold on. I'm not going to say anything yet. It can't be right. Let me go to WWE's website or Triple H on Twitter. Triple H didn't tweeted it. Let me go to WWE's website. They may have announced Jay versus, I'll just say, they may have announced Jay versus Logan Paul. I see a graphic now floating around Twitter, but I don't see it posted anywhere by WWE. I'm trying to see. Give me 1 second. Get you guys the accurate news. Oh, okay. Never mind. There's a fake image. I thought it was fake. Fake graphic going around saying it doesn't look like this is the... Okay, never mind. It is not official. Anywho. Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name now. But yeah, Penta did get a new version of his theme, I guess you would say. Kathy Kelly interviewed Karen Cross and Scarlett, I guess you would say, during the break. There wasn't much to this. Cross cut a decent promo with a decent reaction. He made references to his killer nickname yet again. Then we had Austin Theory coming out, not knowing who his opponent is, and then, well, it was a big old fella. And it was fight night when Sheamus arrived. Sheamus came out to take on Austin Theory. Theory was not happy about this, and Grayson Waller was dick throughout the whole thing. Crowd loved seeing Sheamus. Sheamus had control early on until Theory took over during a break after hitting a draping neck breaker off the apron. Theory avoided 10 beats of the Bowdrin and slingshotted back into the ring, but right into Sheamus' knee strike. Theory avoided a rolling blockbuster. Theory hit a rolling blockbuster, but Sheamus responded with an avalanche white noise. At one point, Austin Theory was down, and so Austin Theory's down, like on the apron, like hurting, right? Adam Jones, thank you, Esports Gaming Rules. That's the Tool guitarist that did Penta's theme. So Austin Theory's like on the apron, holding this side, like, oh god, and Theory's just, or Waller's just walking around going, oh, I'm not gonna look at you. Just gonna do my thing. And like commentary was all like, oh, look at this bastard. Not even caring for his partner that he set up here. So Sheamus hits 14 beats of the Bowdrin, and the crowd loudly chanted along. He hit the bro kick and pinned Austin Theory in a 9.5-minute match. It was fine. Building more tension for Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Like, when are these two going to frickin' break up? They've been teasing this for well over a year and a half almost now. Because, like, what happened was when Sheamus' music hit, they cut to a shot in the ring where Theory's just like, uh-oh. And Grayson Waller's behind him going, hey, don't blame me. He's, like, walking back or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I think, I've been saying it for over a year. Not too long before these two break up, and then they never break them up, and then they never break them up, and then they never break them up. So, I don't know what the hell's going on. This is when we got the announcement. Dominic will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Penta at Backlash. Mcdana then approached Judgment Day backstage. He was pissed and wondered why Gable even got involved. AJ Styles, who just lost to Logan Paul, entered and said that he was coming for the Intercontinental title. Styles misspoke and resaid the line, which is kind of funny. And then he just left. Dom wasn't happy and asked Balor to talk to Styles since, they kind of got some history. Balor acted annoyed that he had to go clean up Dom's mess. He was, but then he said, yeah, I'm just going with you. Balor then smiled and said he would, quote, take care of it. And we're getting that match next week. AJ and Finn on Raw. Woo, boy. Also, AJ called Finn Prince. Like that one. I like that one. So the New Day. Wait, did I write this wrong? I did write this wrong. Okay, so the New Day approached Chad Gable backstage. Kofi Kingston said that it was awful what just happened to Gable. Xavier Woods said that American Made should start seeing more opportunities instead of the War Raiders. And they're basically, it's like, yeah, we're all on the same page. We can help them out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, man? So then Becky Lynch barged through all this and headed out onto the stage. Lynch entered. She was confused over why the fans are treating her the way they are, like she's the bad one. Because she's, the victim. When she returned to WrestleMania, everybody lost their minds. A woman in the crowd cried tears of joy. Becky Lynch is back. Nobody cared where Bayley was because she was garbage. Lynch took out the garbage. Now everyone was mad that she did so. That's not how you react to someone who takes out the garbage. You thank them for it. She also took out the recycling. Lyra Valkyria. Valkyria was less offensive than regular garbage, but she was still basically garbage. What was garbage about Valkyria? Well, her attitude. She didn't have a dream or a title, if not for Lynch. She wouldn't even have her fiance, if not for her. I don't know who her fiance is, so that kind of went over my head. Chat, who's she engaged to? Who's Lyra engaged to? Valkyria then interrupted. She called Lynch the queen of recycling because she's been recycling the same moves and tired lines for years. Valkyria didn't care for any of that. She had a problem with Lynch claiming any credit for her success. Valkyria said that Lynch went on holiday and everyone else got better while she was away. Valkyria made history. Not only that, she's already defended the title belt more than Lynch has shown up for work this year. Valkyria said that Lynch had no intentions of taking anyone else to the top with her. She's all about herself. Lynch said that Valkyria was right. Everybody had the best year of their career while she was gone. But that was because she wasn't around to be compared to. They got to do their thing instead of having to be second fiddle to Becky Lynch. LJ Clearly? Yeah, I don't even know who that is. Back to the Becky promo. It wasn't Lynch's job to help anybody else but herself. It was her job to beat everybody and prove and show why she's the greatest to ever do it. That wasn't just her talking. Sports Illustrated called her the best ever. Valkyria said Lynch must hate it that she is the first woman's Intercontinental Champion. Valkyria said that Lynch better enjoy second place. Lynch tried to take a cheap shot, but Valkyria saw it coming and tackled her. They brawled around and a little more and this, that. Officials came down, broke it up, but then once they broke it up, she broke free. And they fought a little more. And then she she basically laid out Becky. I wrote it very weird. I don't know why I wrote it like that, but yeah. She laid out Becky and stood tall. So, there we go. Next up out came Roxan Perez for her non-title match with Io Sky. We went to a break, and during the break, Perez cut a okay heel promo. Just the, oh, you guys, and you don't deserve me kind of promo. You know, I'm the heel. I'm better than all you. I don't even know why I'm in Omaha. Omaha sucks. But you know, it didn't suck was this match. Io and Roxanne killed it. So Io Sky went for a dive early on. Perez slipped back into the ring and kicked her right in the knee. And she sold it for the rest of the match. Perez followed this up with a dive of her own. Perez took too much time looking around, kind of just like feeling things out. So Sky wiped her out with a suicide dive. Sky set her for a springboard move, but Perez knocked her down and targeted her leg again. Perez targeted Sky's leg throughout the commercial break, but Sky hit an arm drag off the second rope as we returned from the break. Sky fired up the crowd after hitting a missile dropkick, but she couldn't really follow up because of the hurt knee. Perez took advantage yet again, but Sky hit a double foot stomp instead. Sky hit a German suplex and rolled through for another, but Perez countered with a back suplex. Sky responded with a backbreaker. Perez then avoided a moonsault. Sky then sold the injured leg on landing, and Perez followed this up with double knees and got a 2 off of it. They traded cradles here and there until eventually Io caught her in the final cradle, pinned her 1, 2, 3, and picked up the victory. So Io Sky does defeat Roxan Perez in a 10-minute match. Then afterwards, things got a little weird for a second. Both get to their feet. Roxanne extends her hand for a shake. And they do a cordial handshake, and I go, whoa. I don't think they're turning Roxy. But that's not what it was. She was trying to get Io's guard down. Roxanne would walk out up the like halfway up the ramp or so, maybe a quarter of the way up the ramp, and Io was staring at her. Roxanne then smiled when out came Julia, who attacked Io from behind. So Perez and Julia double teamed the women's world champion. Crowd was chanting for Rhea Ripley, but Rhea ain't there. Rhea is in Australia. Julia and Perez stood tall over the women's world champion. Io got a couple licks in on them, but then, well, got taken down. So we did learn that next week on Raw, it will be Io and Rhea against Julia and Roxanne. So, like, Julia and Roxanne have basically been called up, but they're doing an angle. They're still calling them NXT superstars because they're basically saying, and I like this, I like the way they're doing this call up. They're not just saying these two have been called up to the main roster. No, they're saying they're NXT women invading Raw, basically. That's how they're kind of stating it. So I like this. So Adam Pearce met with the War Raiders during the break, which led to Chad Gable coming in and arguing that American Made ain't getting any opportunities. Then the New Day came in and said that they don't want to fight the War Raiders again. They want new competition. And the War Raiders like, well, we've beat American Made twice, so we're better than them. And then we learned that next week, American Made, Creed Brothers versus the War Raiders. Winners get a title shot. Everybody left. Gable was about to leave, and Pearce said, quote, "Hey, Americano." And Gable turned around and acknowledged it. I loved it. I fucking loved it. He immediately realized what he did. He was like, oh. He like nervous laughed. And then Pearce wished a happy. Pearce goes, "Happy Cinco de Mayo." And Gable goes, "Gracias." I love this shit. This is so good. It's corny and cheesy, but great all at the same time. Also, I'm going to say right now, spoiler alert. Ding, 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 ding. Spoiler alert. Ding, 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 ding. Spoiler alert. We got a new speed champion. Dragon Lee has been defeated. Can you guess who won the title? On Cinco de Mayo, El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano is your new speed champion. So then we had Rusev's first match in WWE in 5 years. I didn't realize it was that freaking long. 5 years. When was Rusev's last WWE match? Rusev cage match. He said like 4 times. This is Rusev's first WWE match in 5 years. You know what's crazy also? He's been gone for 5 years, right? He only worked 36 matches in AEW from 2020 to 2025. Well, actually, he didn't even have a match at all last year. At all. But Rusev's last WWE match, it was Angel Garza and Bobby Lashley defeating Humberto Carrillo and Rusev. That was his last match. It was on the Raw, February 17th, 2020. Angel Garza and Bobby Lashley defeated Humberto Carrillo and Rusev. But yeah, in AEW, he only worked 35, 36 matches total from September 23rd, 2020 to the last match he had where he beat Andrade on December 30th, 2023. Like, he did not work much. He did not work much. Yet he was TNT champion and the Redeemer. And also, for all you sons of bitches that go, ooh, Triple H can't think of any better ideas than what Tony Khan did with Rusev. Triple H has got to copy what Tony did with Rusev. Well, how do you know Miro Rusev didn't come to WWE and say, hey, this is the character I want to be? They let me do it in AEW. Here's kind of like the groundwork of what the character is. You could see what it is. How do you do it here? That's probably what he did. And I love that he's got the, what's the word I'm looking for? Game plan already out there to show, hey, this is what the character is. I'm a badass beating people's ass, and I'm the Redeemer. I'm going to show people why they need to be more, aggressive. So, for all the people saying that, Triple H just copied Tony Khan's character. No. I know for a fact that character was Rusev Miro's idea in AEW. The Redeemer character was all his idea. So it seems like he then came to WWE and asked for that idea, which it sounds like he's getting a lot of what he wants, because nobody gets a 2-year deal in WWE, yet Rusev, according to Deadline, is under only a 2-year deal. Who the hell gets that? Not many people. Not many people get a 2-year deal, but his agent actually worked that for him. So, very cool. As far as this match does go, Rusev and Otis, it went 6.5 minutes. It was exactly what it needed to be. Exactly what it needed to be. Rusev had a spinning heel kick ahead of an early match break. Otis had some offense during the break, but Rusev sent him out of the ring with a drop kick as they returned. Rusev went after Otis, but Otis easily suplexed him over the announce desk. Rusev ducked a strike by Otis, causing Otis to slam his arm against the ring post. Otis ducked a kick, causing Rusev to kick the post. They found their way back into the ring at one point, and Otis went for a corner charge, but Rusev super kicked him instead. Rusev responded with an accolade, and Otis tapped out. Rusev then wouldn't let go of the hold, so what? Tozawa would jump into the ring and challenge Rusev to stop and fight now. Rusev couldn't be bothered, so he just left. And then Tozawa checked on Otis. Rusev ran back down and attacked them both. Rusev powerbombed Tozawa onto Otis before putting Otis back in the accolade, and then officials finally ran out and broke it all. Natty then actually ran down to check on Maxine, which was interesting. Like, they're doing start and stop with them. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But Rusev looked awesome in the match and fucking amazing in the post-match. Also, like, we've seen Rusev, Miro, he looked like this in AEW. He looked, great body, and like they said it multiple times in the commentary. He didn't look this good when he was in WWE last time. He really transformed himself. So then we got the Pat McAfee Gunther segment. Pierce called McAfee and Gunther to the ring and wanted to keep things professional till Saturday. This is pretty good. I like this. Gunther informed McAfee that he wouldn't do anything to him tonight because he didn't want to spoil what he has planned on Saturday. And unlike McAfee and Cole, he was a professional. Crowd starts chanting, "You tapped out." But Gunther said, "Shut up," to the crowd. McAfee called Cole a goat. People cheered and chanted Cole. McAfee said Cole has dedicated his time to this company for the last 28 years straight, minus just, 3 days that he's missed. Cole earned the right to have any opinion he wants, yet it bothered Gunther for some reason so much that it caused him to attack a near 60-year-old man. McAfee said that it was appropriate that they were in Omaha, Nebraska. Being in Nebraska made him think of the Cornhuskers. It made him think of steak because nobody beats this town's meat. It made him think of the annual college baseball World Series held in this town. This city was a symbol of dreams coming true. McAfee thought that, he and Gunther had things in common, despite being from different places. They grew up with the same dreams, wanting to be in this industry. They spent hours watching wrestling in front of the television, knowing this is what they were meant to do. Gunther has been in this business for 20 years. He was a champion for 80% of the time here, but he's become jaded. It was just a job to him now. But McAfee was jacked up every time he steps into an arena. McAfee thought about 11-year-old him dreaming about getting in a ring to let assholes like Gunther know that he doesn't like what they're about. McAfee thought about Gunther at this current stage as opposed to him just waltering around. I like that one. He said, you become a little too comfortable, my friend. He didn't want it anymore, though. It happened with Sami Zayn. You lost. It happened with Jey Uso. You lost. McAfee would show everybody that Gunther, well, he's gone soft. Gunther, after McAfee enjoyed his daughter's birthday last week. He said, she's 2, right? Must have been a very special day. Saturday's going to be a very special day for me. And Pat McAfee, you just got me in the right mood for it. He said, it's going to be my first match since WrestleMania. And I would show up sharper and more focused than ever. Gunther would beat him up and maul him down. He would drive McAfee's head into the mat and choke him out. Only the grace of God would be able to lift his arms off McAfee's throat. Gunther then threw the mic down and marched to the back. I like that little end there. Gunther cut a hell of a heel promo there at the end. I liked it. This is all really good. Pat's promo was good. The build for this is pretty good. Like I would say, they've built this match up pretty good. The match itself, we'll have to wait and see, but I've liked the build and the way that they've come about this match. But it's not just two guys are mad at each other, they're going to fight. There's reasons. There's layers. It's like Shrek said, he's an ogre. And they're like onions. There's layers. And there's layers to this story. Not many, but enough to make it an compelling story. So then there was a video from John Cena versus Randy Orton to let us know that their last singles match was 2017, and they showed us their I Quit match. We then learned a couple things for next week. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, War Raiders versus the Creed Brothers, and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez and Julia. This then led us to our main event that went just shy of 20 minutes. It was World Heavyweight Championship on the line with Jey Uso defending against Seth Rollins. Jey wrestled in black pants and white sneakers. He switched to black after Gunther attacked Jimmy. But I think he's safe to go back. Get more color in his gear again. Jey hit a suicide dive early on. Rollins fell over the announce table and came up bleeding from the back of his head, which is very interesting. Jey was in control during a break until Rollins dropped him face first in the middle turnbuckle. They knocked each other down with dueling crossbody attempts before Jey fired back with some strikes, a Samoan drop, and a running hip attack for a 2. Rollins followed this up with a suicide dive, but Jey came back midair, super kick moments later. Both guys were down at this point, so the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." Rollins hit a buckle bomb, but missed the frog splash. Jey went for a spear, and Rollins countered into a pedigree for a 2. I like this spot. Jey avoided a stomp and applied a sleeper. Rollins slipped out of it, and Jey hit a spear for a very close near fall. Jey then knocked Rollins off the top rope, and Rollins accidentally, well, maybe on purpose, bumped into the referee. Breaker tried to interfere with the ref kind of down and distracted, but Jey kicked him. Jey then recuperated. Rollins hit a superplex into a Falcon Arrow and followed this up with a curb stomp for a near fall. Rollins then spoke with Breaker. Sami Zayn entered, and Breaker took him out. Breaker speared him right in his injured ribs. Jey then super kicked Rollins and hit a spear and an Uso splash. Everyone thought this was it. The crowd's yelling, 1, 2. Seth kicks out at the very last possible moment. Zayn rallied the crowd and fired Jey up. Breaker speared him again. Jey then checked on Sami, and Breaker speared him too. Not sure what was going on with the ref. I think they said something on commentary about Heyman had the ref distracted. They get Jey back into the ring, and Rollins hits a curb stomp. Seemingly, the title is won. The match is over. But CM Punk's music hits. Crowd goes wild. Seth frozen in his tracks now, watching Punk run down to the ring. He attacks Breaker and Rollins with a steel chair. the ref doesn't do anything. The ref didn't officially call for an end. He kind of just like, hey, what's going on, guys? And the match just kind of is over. Punk attacks Rollins repeatedly with the chair until Rollins gets out of there. The show then ends with Punk standing tall in the ring and then Zayn checking on Jay. So, a couple things can happen here. We can either get Seth and Breakker versus either Jey Uso and CM Punk or Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, or they add a third man to Seth and Breakker. But that was never the plan, to add a third man to Punk and Breakker. I mean, Seth and Breakker. I don't know why I keep saying it wrong. So I don't know exactly where this is going. Corey, that's not, no. God, I hate the fucking internet. You guys are, not you, Corey, because you probably heard like a third hand, fourth hand report tweet thing. Let me get through this and then I'll talk about the Ronda thing because I want to address that because Ronda, oh my fucking God. Hold on. Let me get the poll going here on Twitch. But yeah, I don't think they're adding a third person to Seth and Breakker, but you know who would fit? Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page would fit in character-wise with these guys. Heard about from Athlon Sports. Yeah, and they probably heard what Brian Alvarez said today. That was nothing new. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it, Corey. I kind of addressed it on Twitter earlier, but yeah. Let me get the Twitch poll going first. What did you think of Raw? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Ronda may hate wrestling fans, but she likes the paycheck. She likes the adrenaline from the crowd. Okay. So, when was Ronda Rousey's last match? It was SummerSlam 03? I'll tell you right now. So Ronda Rousey's last match for WWE was at SummerSlam 2003, and ever since she left and after that match with Shayna Baszler, WWE has wanted to continue working with her. They have wanted to bring her back in. Well, today on Wrestling Observer Live, while talking about the releases, more specifically Shayna Baszler being released, Alvarez did state, WWE still wants to do things with Ronda Rousey. And maybe if they can get Rousey to come back in, maybe Rousey can make a demand to bring Shayna back with her somehow. That's all Alvarez was talking about. Then, not every, but most ran with it as new news, breaking news. And it's not. We have known since Ronda left that WWE would love for her to come back anytime to work with them. Yet, websites and Twitter accounts took what Alvarez said in a 30-second moment, if that, talking about Shayna Baszler's release, and all of a sudden ran with WWE wants Ronda back. WWE's in talks to bring Ronda. Like, they shifted everything that Alvarez said too. I've seen it all the way to WWE's in talks with Ronda Rousey. She's returning soon. That's not what was said. That's not what Brian Alvarez said. And we've known this since Ronda left, that WWE would be willing to bring her back at any time. She went out, she did a couple matches outside of WWE. She worked for Lucha Vavoom, she worked for Revolver, and she worked for ROH. She hasn't done anything since November of 2023. We've seen that she's been training again, but we don't know for what or when. So for everybody that's reading or hearing or reporting, oh, Ronda Rousey's coming back, Brian Alvarez said it. That's not what he said. And that's not new news that WWE would like to work with her. If I said 2003, I apologize. I meant 2023. So, yeah. There's no, oh my God, breaking news. WWE's in talks with Ronda. Because I've seen people write that today. After Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live said what he said. All Alvarez said was, WWE would love to work with Ronda again. And if Ronda has a demand of, I want Shayna with me, they would probably bring Shayna back. All he said. And people started fucking running with it. So dumb. Because people want to get them clicks and write anything that they think people are going to click. And yeah, that's why I didn't report on it. I didn't put no Twitter post, no Instagram post, no nothing. No. Because it ain't new fucking news. Well, you know what is new? It's polls we got here. Got a Twitch poll. We got a Twitter poll. We got a live poll, a community poll. Let's check out these polls. As far as the Threads poll does go. Yeah, see, I see one right here. WWE reportedly wants to work with Ronda Rousey. Yeah. They wanted to work with Ronda Rousey since she fucking left. As far as the Threads poll, 43% liked the show, 43% thought the show was just all right, and 14% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 81% liked the show, 9% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. As far as the community poll does go, 82% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. Looking at the live poll here on YouTube, 87% liked the show, 9% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. I didn't get shit for nothing, Elite. Shit for a thumbnail, no. That got fixed. Sorry. My dyslexia kicked in, and instead of putting 3 A's, I only put 2 A's, but Reddit is 3. It happens. It happens. It got corrected. I didn't get no shit from nobody, and I ain't gonna take no shit from nobody. And if someone put a comment about the thumbnail, you know, fuck them. I don't care. But with all of that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we will be back live on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. So have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. All right. If you're still watching live on Twitch, dip a raid really fast. Let's see who is live.